Hey, what's up guys? Today I'll show you a horror film, MAGI. Spoiler ahead, watch out and take care. The movie begins with an old film role being played. It features the grotesque face of a baron sent away by Adolf Hitler to Istanbul. There, he discovered dark forces and turned himself into a monster. He had dwelled in Istanbul ever since. Presently, a priest and his sidekick are walking in the city's dark alleyways, carrying heavy briefcases. Suddenly, they discover a group of people wearing masks and clad in the traditional burqa standing at the other end of the hallway. They decide to ignore the people and enter a hidden side door in the alley. Inside is a cavernous room with a cross erected on the wall. Suddenly, a man leaps in front of them. He has glowing red eyes and is growling at them. This man has been possessed by a demon called Jinn. The sidekick brandishes a strange dark mass and throws it to the floor while the priest commands the Jinn to leave the man's body. The Jinn responds by screaming at them in an incomprehensible language. Seconds later, the Jinn erupts on fire and is vanquished into thin air. Elsewhere in the city, two sisters are riding in the back of a taxi. The dark-haired sister is named Olivia, while the pregnant blonde one is named Marla. They chat with the taxi driver, and he cracks jokes about his own name. Olivia is from New York and is only visiting her sister in Turkey. They arrive at Marla's apartment, and Olivia takes a shower to rinse the day's dirt off her dirty body. She stares at the mirror in the bathroom, while Marla prepares their dinner. Olivia exits the bathroom and enters the kitchen. Her sister asks her to get some salt from the dining room, and she obeys. However, Olivia discovers a strange pulsating dark mass laid out on the dining room table. She touches it, and one of its barbs stings her finger. She screams, and Marla runs to the dining room. Immediately, she springs into action and sets the dark mass on fire. Olivia is suspicious of how her sister immediately knew how to dispose of the black mass. She asks her what she knows about the strange thing, but Marla is defensive. Olivia tries to convince her sister to go back with her to New York, but Marla loves Turkey and she wants to stay there for the rest of her life. Marla then says that Olivia is free to go back to New York, but she will not be coming with her. Marla also starts to tell Olivia the story of a local folktale involving a pregnant woman who was killed and her belly was torn open, but she leaves the room before she can finish the story. That night, Olivia can't sleep, so she ventures out into the front garden. When she looks up, she sees Marla staring down at her from her bedroom window. Hours later, Marla wakes up from a disturbing nightmare and goes down to the basement of her house. She sees that something is moving inside her antique closet. When Olivia also goes downstairs, she discovers the horrific sight of her sister's dead body on the ground. Her belly had been torn open and the fetus was missing. Olivia's screams echo through the night. Eventually, the police are called to the scene, and an investigation is opened to find Marla's killer. The detective in charge of the case suspects that Marla's estranged husband did it. Olivia is resolved not to leave the country until the killer has been brought to justice. She also mentions the folktale that Marla told her about involving a woman who was killed in a similar way. Olivia also reaches out to Marla's two friends. They tell her that Marla didn't even tell them that she was pregnant. They also show Olivia a video recording of Marla staring into the camera and acting strangely. That night, Olivia dreams of her sister lying dead on the floor again. She opens her eyes and utters Olivia's name. Then a woman with long hair appears at the edge of Olivia's bed. She crawls toward Olivia, and Olivia freezes in terror. Olivia visits the detective again. He informs her that Marla's husband was found dead due to a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. There was also a suicide note claiming responsibility for the death of Marla. The police will now be closing the case and declaring that Marla was killed by her husband. But Olivia is not convinced that the story is over yet. Later on, a scarred postman knocks on Olivia's door. He stares at her menacingly as she signs for the package. Inside the house, Olivia opens the package and sees that it contains a tape. It's a recording of a macabre ritual. Surprisingly, the same woman that Olivia saw in her dream is lying on a table surrounded by people wearing robes. They kill the woman and tear open her belly, grabbing the fetus inside and taking it out. When Olivia wakes up the next morning, she decides to go to the house featured in the video. Marla's female friend, Susan, warns her to leave the matter to the police. Olivia goes down to the basement again and finds Marla's backpack near the mirrored closet. She rummages through it and finds a book with an inscription on the first page for Marla, along with a small key. A kind-hearted friend named Emmer helps Olivia track down the address of the parcel she was sent. They ask a grocery store clerk for directions, and it is revealed that Marla had been living in the house that they are looking for. When they arrive, they see that the house is dilapidated and run down. The two of them venture inside and find a secret room behind a hidden panel. Olivia uses the key she found to unlock the door. The secret room is filled with tiny skeletons hung upside down in the air. Flies are swarming everywhere because of the decomposing flesh. They also find a bloody sack with a tag bearing Marla's birthday. But before they can open it, a window in the room gets broken by someone. Emmer runs downstairs to catch the perpetrator. He leaves Olivia behind in the room alone. However, she starts hallucinating that the objects in the room are moving and screaming in anguish. When Emmer returns, he finds her on the floor. They decide to leave the house, but they take the sack with them. When they unwrap the sack, they see a mass of tiny skeletons of babies tied together on top of a cauldron. Emmer surmises that Marla's husband must have done it as a curse on her for leaving him. But Olivia is convinced that something else is responsible for this. So she buys a security camera and sets it up at the house. One night, she is woken up by something. She finds herself going downstairs to the basement. She finds an old book detailing how to summon the jinn. Written on one of the pages is the village where the woman from Olivia's dreams are. The three of them embark on a trip to the remote village. But when they get there, they are turned away by some angry villagers. Fortunately, they are able to seek shelter inside an old man's home. There, he finally tells the story of Hava, the woman who was in the videotape of the ritual. Hava was a newcomer to the village that was ostracized because the people thought she brought misfortune to them. It is revealed that she was impregnated and possessed by a jinn. The baby in her womb is prophesied to be the next Satan, so the townspeople gathered together and attacked her to death. Ever since then, the village has been cursed. When Olivia gets home, she encounters an author hiding in her basement. He is the writer of the same book that she found inscribed with her sister's name. It turns out Marla and the author were friends, and she even gave him a copy of the key to the house. The author warns Olivia that she is not safe and that a cult is coming after her, but he shortly disappears after. Later on, the author is walking alone at night in the city when he's ambushed by armed men. He receives a call from a mysterious figure who tells him that he had messed with the wrong group. Meanwhile, Susan suddenly appears in Olivia's house. She appears to be possessed by a jinn, and she attacks Olivia. Luckily, Emmer arrives for help, and Olivia is fine. The jinn also flees Susan's body. Later on, Olivia and Emmer consult the author. He tells them that the Baron had started a cult many decades ago dedicated to bringing forth an army of MAGI, the half-man, half-jinn demon. The cult selects women who will be inseminated and impregnated in order to give birth to the MAGI. It turns out Hava was chosen as one of these women. When the date of her giving birth was near, the cult took her and split open her belly to get the baby. The author adds that the only one who can help Olivia is the priest, who was shown at the beginning of the film vanquishing a jinn. But the problem was that the priest is untraceable. Throughout the course of investigation, Olivia and Emir grow closer together. One night, they succumb to their desire and spend a hormone night together. While alone at his place and trying to talk to the priest, the author is attacked and dies. The news of his death spurs the priest to help Olivia. But the demon jinn is now pursuing Olivia and has attempted to take her. Fortunately, Emmer finds her unconscious in the basement. The priest agrees to help them with their case. He arrives at the house with his sidekick and proceeds to the basement. The others show him the cauldron they got from the abandoned house. He opens the mirrored closet and reveals the diagram hidden on the panel. He explains that Marla was a member of the cult. She was selected to bear the MAGI baby for the cult, and she knew all along that she would die. However, another part of the deal is an exchange pledge that offered Marla something in return for her devotion to the cause. To figure out what the deal is, the priest summons the jinn inside the infernal cauldron. The jinn possesses the sidekick and speaks a cryptic phrase regarding seeing a baby Jesus, and that the traitor they are looking for will only have one eye. They move back upstairs. The priest browses through the CD collection on display and notices one CD cover with a baby Jesus on the cover. Remembering the jinn's prophecy, he shows the CD cover to Olivia, who acts normally. However, when he shows it to Emmer, the man flinches and covers his one eye. This confirms that Emmer is the traitor they are looking for. The priest suddenly stabs Emmer, and a dark entity leaks out of his wound. Olivia mourns him because of their budding relationship, but the priest tells her that he was probably indoctrinated by the cult and preyed upon, just like her sister was. It turns out the cult had promised Marla that she would be reborn, and because she was so deep into the cult, and she wholeheartedly agreed. The cult is also powerful and has many friends in the government. The priest theorizes that they were the ones behind the framing of Marla's husband as the killer and its subsequent suspicious suicide. The jinn takes control of Susan once again and uses her body to possess Emmer's corpse as well. Finally, the demon also takes control of Olivia's body. The priest and his sidekick resort to using an ancient old book in order to go to the jinn's dimension and defeat it. They draw a protective circle and place themselves inside it. But the priest has to venture out of it in order to face the jinn. The two of them have a fast and furious fight. Eventually, the priest succeeds in defeating the jinn. But the possessed Susan and Emir appear and slit the throat of his sidekick. Luckily, the sidekick only dies in that dimension and is still well back on Earth. He also takes care of the two and saves Olivia from being possessed. However, the detective and his men arrive at the house and arrest the priest and his sidekick for the murders. It turns out the detective is under the control of the cult and is acting to punish the priest. The police grab the two men and escort them away in a police car. Meanwhile, the same scared postal man now appears to be the driver of the ambulance, taking Olivia away from the house. This implies that he is also a cult member. They wheel Olivia inside on a stretcher. Half unconscious, she looks closely at the paramedic taking care of her and realizes that it is her sister alive. Marla smiles at Olivia and her eyes are eerily glowing. This means that the cult's promise of rebirth to Marla was true and she was resurrected by the demonic force. It also means that her baby is now a MAGI, being prepared to be part of the cult's army that will take over the world. The cult has also chosen Olivia to be their vessel, especially since she had carnal relations already with Emir, who was also a cult member. Pretty soon, she will be pregnant and carrying a MAGI as well. The movie ends with a newspaper headline declaring that Olivia was also found dead in the house and that the autopsy results are still pending. This is Daniel CC Movie Channel. Stay safe and enjoy your day.